Good morning, it's Janet McElligott in Los Angeles, California. I have been getting videos sent to me and photographs of outright murders in El Fasher and elsewhere. And I'm going to tell you a story today that I promised myself I wouldn't tell because it seems kind of crazy. Back in '94 when I was living in China, the Chinese came to spray the trees to kill mosquitoes, and it killed about 160 people, and I was the only survivor. I lost the use of my left lung, half my right lung, had liver and kidney failure, and a temperature of 108, and was given up for dead by 3 hospitals and 11 doctors and told I'd never survive. I remember dying. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but it took me about 1.5 years to learn to breathe again on my own. And it wasn't easy at all. When this whole war broke out with the Sudan, I actually didn't want to get involved. The time that I spent with the wars, with the counterterrorism, took a toll on my physical health and my heart. So I prayed to see if I should do this. And I had a dream, and I was walking in Meroe, in the pyramids, in tall grass, and I saw a woman under a tree. And I knew where I was, but it didn't make sense to me that there was tall grass. And a man who was dressed sort of like Jesus. I'm Catholic, so to me it looked sort of like Jesus, except he had a turban. He leaned over and he kissed the top of the head of a woman who was underneath the tree with a big silver plate of feta cheese and olives and bread. And when I got over to where this woman was, she'd been wearing a white taupe with a blue ribbon around it. And I fully expected her to have a black face because I knew I was in Sudan. And she turned to me and she looked almost white. And she told me her name was Zainab. I'd never heard this name before. And I said, Zina? She said, no, Zainab. And she invited me to sit down with her. And then all of a sudden, we were sucked into modern day Sudan. And this was right as the war was starting. And I was dressed differently. She was dressed the same. And the city was on fire. And she turned to me and said, you must utilize women to fix what men have destroyed. And then she was gone. I was out of it time-wise for a little while. And I didn't know what it meant. And I didn't know who Zainab was. And I asked one of my Sudanese friends, and he said it's a message that I must help. So during this time period of the war, everyone keeps sending me videos. They send me all sorts of things. And so today I went on and I bought a domain called SudanWarCrimes.com and .org. And I set up an email. I don't know how to make a website. I don't know how to do any of those things. But for the next 3 years at least, I want you to send these videos. I want you to send these horrible things that I've been seeing to evidence at Sudan War Crimes. Because in order to heal from this war, all these victims must have justice of some kind. We can go to The Hague and get justice, and we can go to the international community, but it has to be united. And some of you guys who are so smart about technology, you can run this. You can do this, and I'll help in whatever way I can. But this guy, he's the one who made me decide we had to do this professionally. So I need some tech guys. This is a way that we can have a repository. So send anything to evidence@sudanwarcrimes.com, and we'll do as best we can. And this can all be presented to the government. It can be presented to the United Nations, but it has to be systematic, and it has to be Sudanese driven for Sudanese justice. Because what's happening isn't okay, and the world needs to see all of it. Thanks.